Well, good evening, everyone. I have 6:31 p.m. Today is Tuesday, November 16th. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Columbus Common Council special meeting of the Committee of the Whole. And with that, is Pat present to do a roll call for us, or do you want to do that for us, Kyle?
I'm here, I can take care of that.
Oh, thank you. I didn't see you. You're somewhere off camera for me.
Okay, that's right. Albright,
Here.
Arnold,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Gray,
Present.
Moda,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
and Roki,
Present.
all present.
Perfect. And this meeting has been properly noticed. Next up on the agenda is to approve the agenda. So if there are no alterations or comments, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion from Rolke
I will second.
and a second from Motive. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And next up is correspondence and communications. Since this is a special meeting, I'm seeing none available. Is that correct, Pat?
That's correct. We just have some for the regular meeting.
Thank you very much. So let's move right on to item number 5, which is to consider and take action on Class B alcohol license for Liberty Square Gas Station, otherwise known as Columbus West, so everyone knows what we're talking about. DBA Refuel Pantry or Columbus West. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Is everybody okay with moving this forward to our regular meeting?
Oh, Trina, did you have a question? Oh,
Yeah, so this won't be an extra license. This is just giving a new company essentially an old license.
Yeah,
That's
Awesome.
correct. It's
Thank
changing
you.
hands, so we have to approve the license for the new company so that there's no lag in between, so they can continue operations seamlessly.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any? All right, so everyone is in favor for moving this forward? Perfect, thank you. Then next up is item number 6, very much the same topic, but this one is for the tobacco license for Liberty Square Gas Station, doing business as Refuel Pantry or Columbus West. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments? Everyone okay with moving that forward to our regular meeting here in just a moment? Perfect, thank you. So that was painless and quick. With that, I would take a motion to adjourn.
Alder Motive will make a motion to adjourn.
Reed seconds.
I have a motion and a second from Motive and a second from Reed. All those in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome tonight to the Columbus, Wisconsin City Council meeting. It's Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. We are meeting by Zoom tonight in order to protect citizens and staff from the spread of COVID-19. As I have said in other weeks at meetings, I do get weekly updates from the Columbia County Department of Health, and the COVID activity level in Columbia County remains at very high, which is an increase of the high activity level 10 weeks ago when we first reinstated the emergency order. We have a public hearing now in which we will be presenting the budget, and that will be happening now. And so I will ask Pat to take the roll call for us, please.
Arnold,
Here.
Clark,
yes.
Gray,
Present.
Moda,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Roki,
Present.
Albright,
Here.
all present.
Great. And this meeting has been noticed in accordance with state statutes and local ordinances. We are going to have City Administrator Kyle Ellefson talk about the budget, make some comments on it. And we will have, if anybody wishes to make any comments about the budget itself, we will have opportunity for that after Kyle makes his presentation.
All right, thank you. I am going to start the slideshow. And I'm going to share my screen so you can all see it. Mayor Arnold, are you able to see the first slide of the slideshow?
I am.
All right, I'll go then. So this is just a quick overview of the 2022 budget. We've been talking about this now for several months. We've had a lot of discussions about some of the high points, some of the low points, some of the challenges. So what I'm looking for tonight is really just to give an overview, and then if there's any questions, we can proceed to answer those. All right, so just a couple of core statistics as we get going. Our population is currently 5,540. You'll notice it's a jump of 353 from last year. We haven't seen population growth like that in a long time. This is obviously related to the census and the census numbers being released as a more accurate version than what the state demography staff produce. So we did increase significantly in population. Also, our equalized value for the non-TIF areas is $463 million, which is up nearly $25 million. Excuse me while I get out of this for just a second and admit a member. And I will go right back in to that. Well, let me restart from where I am. Or the beginning. I apologize. All right, we'll skip forward again. So we talked about the non-TIF areas. In the TIF areas, we actually saw a $1.1 million reduction in the value there, just under 41 million. Overall, the total equalized value is about $503 million. And the net new construction for this year was, as we talked about previously, one of the lowest we've had in a number of years, and that is just over $1 million, which is one of the things that makes it a little bit challenging as we look at the new revenue that becomes available.
Pat, can you share your screen again? Sorry.
Okay. All right, let's see what we're. Go back in here.
Thank you.
All right, how about that? Okay, so looking at the general fund budget, the overall general fund increased more than $126,000. And when you look at the revenue that helped make that, it included a little bit higher property tax of $33,000. The continued use of the carryover funds that we have not spent in the previous budget or the current budget year that we look to move forward to make purchases next year. Transportation aids were something that was a positive this year. I think a combination of the state increasing the formula to some extent, as well as some of the newer improvements on Hibbard starting to count for our formula. Also, municipal court increased their revenue by an estimated $5,900 for next year. Rental revenue is still relatively flat, basically with the unknown of COVID. So that was sort of a wash in the revenue side of the budget. When we look at the expenses, we were able to make a lot of things continue to happen even with the challenges. And I think when you look at the budget overall, you've either maintained or increased the commitment to all your emergency services, the police, the fire, the EMS. Historic preservation continues to be a priority for the city, and there's money being dedicated towards that and allowing some of those funds to build over time. Road maintenance, we've also increased that again this year, making several years in a row where we've increased the amount of money we're putting towards road maintenance, which is an issue that we have as a priority. Also, the stormwater repair and maintenance is something that we're continuing to include in the budget, even though it's at a relatively modest amount. Pavilion maintenance, one of the key facilities in our community. We're still continuing to work towards replacing some of the stairs and some of those projects that will make it safer in the long run. And also for the second year, we'll be doing the sidewalk repair and replacement program and putting money towards making sure we're improving as many of the sidewalks as we can. Looking to the wastewater fund, that one's a little bit more challenging as well. The revenues have been relatively flat. There's been some short-term changes with COVID and how many people are visiting different facilities. So it's been a little bit muted that way. But expenses on the flip side have been going up on everything the wastewater plant uses in its process. Those expenses are all continuing to increase. We do have a rate study underway as a reminder, and this is the first year now in the current rate structure that we're no longer operating at a surplus. There are some capital expenses that contribute to that, but just it's worth mentioning that we will have to take a look at that rate study to make sure that there's a long-term viable wastewater fund to continue making those improvements. And there's increased expenditures, the increased chemical use and costs, which is sort of a double whammy to meet our different state requirements. We need to use more of the chemical than we did previously, and the chemical we use now costs significantly more than it used to. So it's like I said, a double whammy in that aspect. We're going to be looking at some aeration diffuser improvements that we'll be making. So that should help the process, and it could actually save some energy as we make some of those improvements. And also some of the projects we're starting to look at, the engineering for 2 lift station projects next year, as well as a sludge study. And those are all precursors for larger projects in the coming years. Compensation and benefits, that's one of those areas where in the marketplace, wages have been increasing pretty rapidly. I think, as we looked at compensation, we were able to give a general wage increase of 2%, as well as a few targeted increases. So we feel, happy that we were able to reach that level. I think in a more robust budget, you would hope potentially for even more. But we were able to achieve this with the health insurance as a main contributor because our increase in premiums for the second year in a row was 0%, which is rare. And, I think is something we should enjoy while we have it, because it's likely in the future we're going to see increases of several percentage points or even into the teens. So, and on the positive side of benefits, the employee and employer both received a 25% or a 0.25% reduction in the Wisconsin retirement system contributions. So as an employer, we're paying slightly less, and the employee is as well, so their paycheck goes up by that amount. Just a couple budget changes from within the individual funds. The library has held very close to their previous budget and only had a $100 increase in property tax contributions. Aquatic Center actually reduced their reliance on property tax by just under $400. And the room tax, we actually increased it very slightly, but we expect that to remain relatively flat for the next year. And we're still not really sure which way COVID is trending and how that's going to affect tourism and travelers. The garbage and recycling fund, we did do a fee increase last year in the budget, and that covered some of the contract fees and recycling center expenses projected for this year. And we had a small surplus for this year. With the increased contract cost, 2022 is projected to be a slight loss, but well within the fund balance we have. And I think in the coming year, we'll look at whether we want to exercise our final year option, I believe, with Columbia County, or if we want to evaluate all the options and see what the marketplace is. So that's something we can definitely work on during the next year. Columbus Area EMS Group, if you recall last year, we officially added 2 additional communities to the group, which reduced the overall cost per community. And so that savings continues. The contract fees, the contract fees that we pay did go up by $1,500, but we're still seeing that overall net savings from what we paid years ago. Tourism, we, like I mentioned, anticipate revenues and expenditures to be relatively flat because of the unknown of the money coming in through room tax. Debt service, we also increased our property tax contribution to that. And by continuing to do that, preserves some of the fund balance we have and the ability to use that to draw down funds in future years as we keep that flexibility. Just a quick touch on the tax increment districts. TID 3 continues to operate at a surplus. We will be looking at it during this year, during 2022, to see if the performance and the revenue projections will allow it to close. That's still something to be evaluated. TID 4, based on the incentives that we have, is showing a small loss for 2022, but the long-term projection remains good. And then TID 5 and 6 are not generating increment in this next year. TID 5 is relatively new, and TID 6 was just established this year. So those are both in the early development stages. Capital budget, actually this year there's a lot of projects and some equipment that we're trying to make happen. So this is a relatively important slide. The CDBG close project we have, there'll be some dredging and other stormwater improvements in the Fuller Street, Washington Park, and along Second Ward Creek. It's a $573,000 project, but the grant funds of $423,000 are taking up most of that expense and allowing the work to happen. We also have State Highway 89 being reconstructed next year. That's actually going to be going out to bid relatively soon. Our portion without the utilities, so general fund, is $455,000, primarily a state project, but our portion is for the parking lanes, some tree removals, stormwater, curb and gutter, things like that. When we look at the capital equipment that we're looking to purchase in this budget, there's a DPW mini dump truck in there at a cost of $59,000, which is something that has really exceeded its useful life. Also, we have our first payment due to Columbus Water and Light for the bucket truck that we received this year. And then also we're replacing one mower. Currently, it was budgeted for the 72-inch mower. Based on some equipment failures, they may buy a different smaller size mower, but this would still give them the flexibility to buy what they need to keep the fleet operating. And then tax rate. We don't have all the tax levies from all the overlying jurisdictions, so we're not able at this moment to sort of estimate what the total tax bill will be. So, but we do know with the budget as it sits, what the city's tax rate will be. As you can see, the mill rate last year is 7.94. This year it's 7.96 in the current budget. So it's a 0.3% increase on the mill rate, and the tax levy in raw dollars is increasing by $33,000, $33,050 to be exact. And so the levy percentage is just under 1%. One of the things we also have to meet is the expenditure restraint calculation to remain eligible for the state expenditure restraint program. With the inflation and growth, that number was 3.1% from budget increase from last year. And so that's the number we had to stay under if we wanted to remain eligible for those benefits or that income in the future year. The tax levy, as we showed, is up by just under 1%. But when you look at the expenditure restraint, which counts all of the tax levy contributions to all of the different funds, the expenditure restraint calculation is just about 2.4%. So we do have plenty of room under that 3.1. And then just sort of a comment, because of how the assessments work and the equalized value, our equalized value tax rate actually dropped by 1.7% because of property appreciation. But when you look at a tax bill, that's based off of your assessed mill rate, and that's what increased by 0.3%. So there was a very small tax levy increase, and I believe for an average home, we're looking at a relatively small amount. For a $100,000 home, the numbers are showing it's about $2.36 a year. So you can sort of extrapolate that from the $100,000 to whatever your home value may be. And it's going to be in that same range of, for each 100,000, $2.36 increase. So that's the information I had, just to sort of talk about some of the impacts of where we are on the revenue and expenditures, talk about some of the things we're doing in the budget, and as well as talking about where we are with our tax rate. Does anyone have any questions? All right. So that is all I had on the budget review.
Well, thank you very much, Kyle. I wonder if there is anyone who has signed up to make comments about the proposed budget. I know we have some visitors there, but I am assuming they're here for maybe another topic tonight.
Correct. We don't see anyone in chambers that's looking to speak during the budget public hearing.
Okay, and Alders, no questions from any of you about what's been proposed? Okay, that's great. In that case, I'm looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
Alder Gray moves to close the public hearing.
Alder Motive will second.
It has been moved and seconded to close the public hearing on the budget. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? In that case, we will adjourn the public hearing, and we will then swing right into our regular meeting for tonight. Oh, Ian?
I think we still need to adjourn this and then start a new meeting.
Okay, so we're going to adjourn this meeting.
Yeah.
So we are adjourned.
I'll make a motion to adjourn and, or
Okay.
you,
Oh, yes, we closed it, but we didn't adjourn. Okay, I'm sorry. I kind of thought they were the same thing, but you are right. So it has been moved. And do we have a second to adjourn?
Alder Motive will second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? So we are adjourned from the public hearing. And now we will start the regular meeting for November 16th. And I will ask our clerk, Pat Gable, to take roll call for this meeting.
Clark,
Here.
Gray,
Present.
Motive,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Roki,
Present.
Albright,
Here.
Arnold,
Here.
all present.
So we are all present, and if you are able, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, under God, with liberty and justice for all. So welcome everyone to this meeting. This meeting has also been noticed in accordance with state statutes and local ordinances. I am looking for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Alder Gray will move to approve the agenda.
Clark will second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve tonight's agenda. Is there any discussion? So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is
Aye.
anyone opposed? Okay. Moving on to correspondence and communications. I know we were hoping tonight to have our Assemblyman William Peterman join us. He was going to, I'm sorry, William Penterman join us. He's the 37th Assembly District. And I know he was hoping to be here. I don't see his name though.
He's actually in chambers.
Oh, he's in the chambers. Oh, great. Okay. So I think what we would like to do is to give Assemblyman Penterman some time to just introduce himself and take a couple of minutes with council tonight. Yes. Trina, are you? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were waving at me. I see you're petting your dog. Okay. And so I'm going to turn the meeting over now to Assemblyman Penterman, and thank you so much for joining us.
Looks like the face with the voice sound coming out of the middle at the bottom. Perfect.
Is that it? Cool. All right, well, thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for having me here this evening. It's an honor to join you. Like the Mayor said, my name is Representative Penterman. I've been on the job for about 3, maybe 4 months now. And as the newest member of the Wisconsin State Legislature, it's been quite a learning experience. I guess first off, I'd like to start off tonight by saying how proud I am of the city of Columbus and how proud I am to be from Columbus. The last time the city of Columbus had a sitting state legislator representing the district was all the way back in 1917 when we had Representative Samuel R. Webster serving for this district. So although I represent all 59,000 constituents, I always have had a heart for Columbus and always will have a heart for Columbus. When I'm not down in Madison, working on bills and other good legislative priorities, I love being in the district, talking with the constituents, getting to know your thoughts and feelings on a variety of topics, as I've talked with many of you about. I really, really appreciate respectful and open dialogue. It's what makes our country great. After all, you are all my bosses, and at the end of the day, I'm accountable to the constituents of the 37th Assembly District. So like I said, I was saying, when I'm not at the state capitol, I'm here in the district talking with you, the voters. I'm also spend quite a bit of time in the classrooms as I've taken up substitute teaching at Watertown Middle School and High School, as well as Waterloo Middle School and High School. Education's a big deal to me. It's very important. It's something my wife and I are very passionate about, and something I will always continue to advocate for. In addition to that, I will serve part-time as a citizen soldier in the United States Army Reserve. I'll be celebrating my 6th year anniversary coming up in a couple days. I've got another 3 years to go at least. I had the opportunity to re-enlist, to extend my contract here in Columbus, actually, back in May, over at the Fireman's Park at the Veterans Memorial. That was a very cool experience. So I guess I'm not a man of terribly many words, but I am thankful for the opportunity to be here tonight. I want to remain as open and available as possible. So if there's ever anything anyone would like to discuss with me, I'd love to hear it. Love, like I said before, love open civil dialogue. That's very important to me. Also tonight, I have many copies of the Wisconsin Blue Book, an almanac of all things Wisconsin. So if anyone would like one, please let me know. I've got many of them. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be more than willing to hear them.
I have a question. Can you please give us an overview of your legislative platform and what your goals are for the upcoming year?
Sure. So unfortunately, I came to the party a little bit late, so I missed the I missed the state budget. I wasn't elected until after the state budget was crafted and signed into law. So that is by far the single biggest bill passed by the legislature. I have a number of other priorities and bills I'm working on currently. I guess to keep it short and simple, I believe in very open, honest, and transparent government. I think that individuals having as much individual liberty as possible is good for society. I want to keep taxes low, and I want to support our businesses here in Wisconsin because it's so important for our local economies, for our state economy, is to create and foster a good, viable, pro-growth friendly business climate in which businesses can thrive in and expand, particularly right here in the 37th Assembly District, but for sure in Wisconsin.
And lastly, can you please leave a blue book with Kyle for me? Thank you.
Sure can.
Anyone else have any questions for Assemblyman Penterman? Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time to come and to our meeting tonight. And I do appreciate it. I think you dropped a blue book off at my house, which I thought was great. I'm sure you will be hearing from constituents and possibly even a few council members about anything that comes up in the future. And it really is, as you said, really great to have somebody from our hometown representing us in the legislature. So thank you again. And we hope to see you again sometime.
Good. Thank you for having me.
So the next item is correspondence and communications. And I know we do have some visitors here. My guess is that many of them want to comment about the possibility of ATV routes in the city. And if that is the case, I'm going to recommend that if you have signed up to speak, you wait until we talk about that in the committee of the whole, which will be coming up after this meeting is adjourned right after this one. Has anyone signed up to speak other than on that topic?
No one else has signed up.
Okay, good. In that case, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. And I am looking for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Alder Rolke moves to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Alder Motive
will
will
second.
second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve tonight's consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? Okay, good. Now we're moving on to new business. The first item under new business is to consider and take action on resolution 23-21, a resolution for budget adoption and approval of a tax levy for the city of Columbus and tax incremental districts. So you have the final budget in your packet, and I think Kyle did a very nice job of giving us the high points. So I am looking for a motion on this
Alder-
resolution.
Alder Motive will make a motion to pass Resolution 2321, the resolution for budget adoption and approval of a tax levy for the city of Columbus and tax incremental districts.
Gray seconds.
It has been moved and seconded that we pass this resolution 2321. Is there any discussion? We will do a roll call on this motion.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Albright,
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you so much. The next item under new business is to consider and take action on resolution 24-21, a resolution for City of Columbus Public Sewer Utility Budget Adoption. And this also is something we have discussed before. Information is in your packet. The City Council would be appropriating the necessary funds for the operation of the sewer utility and its administration for the City of Columbus for the year 2022. And this would therefore resolve the attached 2022 City of Columbus Public Sewer Utility Budget would be approved by the Common Council if you so wish. So I am looking for a motion. And yeah, okay.
Alder Motive will make a motion on resolution 2421 for the City of Columbus Public Sewer Utility Budget Adoption.
Gray will second.
So it has been moved and seconded that we pass this resolution, correct? Okay. For the City of Columbus Public Sewer Utility Budget Adoption. Is there any discussion? I think we will do a roll call then on this one also, please, Pat.
Motive,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Albright,
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 3, consider and take action on resolution 25-21. And this involves approving the Board of Commissioners of Public Lands, BPL loan, approving the loan to purchase the Tower Drive property. So there are actually going to be 3 agenda items. And we are now looking at the first one, which is approval of the Board of Commissioners, Board of Commissioners of Public Lands. So approval of the BCPL loan application. And that's what this budget or this item is regarding. So I am looking for a motion.
Alder Gray moves to approve resolution 2521, the BCPL loan application.
Is there any discussion? Oh, I'm sorry, I need a second.
Alder Albright will second that motion.
Thank you. Now, is there any discussion? Okay. We will also do a roll call on this one.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Albright,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive,
Aye.
motion carries.
Great. Okay. and now we are moving down to number 4, which is to consider and take action on resolution 2621, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Columbus authorizing the purchase of certain land from the Olivet Congregational Church. And I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Alder
Alder
Motif,
Gray. Sorry.
Alder Motif will make a motion to approve 2621 to authorize the purchase of property from Olivet Congregational Church.
Gray will second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of land from the Olivet Congregational Church, and we will do a roll call on this one also.
Rolke,
Aye.
Albright,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive,
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. Okay, moving down to number 5, and this item is to consider and take action on resolution 2721, a resolution to submit the question of whether the city of Columbus should allow a stormwater utility to collect fees without affecting the general levy to the general electorate. And again, this was in your packet, and I'm looking for a motion.
Alder Gray moves to approve resolution 27-21, a resolution to submit the question of whether the city of Columbus should allow a stormwater utility to collect fees without affecting the general levy to the general electorate.
Alder
Rolke.
Albright can second that motion, can second that.
So it has been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution to submit the question of whether the city of Columbus should allow a stormwater utility to collect fees without affecting the general levy to the general electorate. I don't believe we need a roll call for this one. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 You know, I guess I should have asked, I'm sorry, I should have asked first if there was any discussion before we move to voting on it. Does anyone have anything they want to bring up? Everyone pretty comfortable with the resolution? Okay, good. Then all those in favor, go ahead and say aye again.
Aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Okay, great. Resolution passes. Okay,
Excuse me,
Now-
Mayor
yes.
Arnold, did you
Yes.
want me to give an update on what we had discussed from the last meeting?
I'm not sure if, would we want to do that now, or would we? I'm gonna, Council President, do we want an update now, or is this something?
It's not explicitly on our agenda, so probably best to put it on our next one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Alder Motif. We'll get it on the next agenda then. So the next item on the agenda is to consider and take action on a contract with K&B Tree for tree removal for the Highway 89 project. And this is a request to move forward with the approval of the city's tree removal contractor and their estimate on tree removals for the Highway 89 project. Let's see, I think we do need, okay. So I am looking for a motion.
Clark moves to approve the contract with K&B for tree removal on Highway 89 project.
Alder Motif will second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we approve the city's tree removal contract with K&B. Is there any discussion? And so we will do a roll call on this also.
Albright,
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Moda,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
motion carries.
Great, thank you all very much. The next two items have to do with some issues that we discussed in the earlier meeting. The first one, number 7, is to consider and take action on the Class B license for Liberty Square gas station at the Refuel Pantry Columbus West. So that's item number 7. And I am looking for a motion to approve.
Alder Rolke moves to approve the Class B license for Liberty Square Gas Stations, Inc.
Alder Albright can second that.
Great. Is there, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes. And then the next item, number 8, is to consider and take action on the tobacco license for the Liberty Square gas station, Columbus West. And I am looking for a motion on this.
Alder Gray moves to approve the tobacco license for Liberty Square Gas Station Incorporated, doing business as Refuel Pantry Columbus West.
Alder Rolke will second.
Great, it has been moved and seconded that we approve the application for tobacco license for Liberty Square gas station. All those in favor, well, is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Great. Okay, now we're down to number 9, which is to consider and take action on the Columbia County Health and Human Services Aging and Disability Resource Center, a memorandum of understanding, MOU, with Columbia County and the Columbus Senior Center to be used as a meal site and distribution point for meals to those in need. And just so you know, as it says, right now meals are only being delivered, no on-site meals are being served, but hopefully that will change in the future. There is no cost to the city for this service. So I am looking for a motion to approve this memorandum of understanding with Columbia County.
Alder Gray moves to approve the MOU with Columbia County Health and Human Services for the nutrition site for 2022.
Alder Motive will second.
So it has been moved and seconded that we approve the MOU between the Senior Center and Columbia County as a nutrition site for 2022. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes. And the next item is to consider and take action on claims in the amount of $181,470.80. So I am
Alder-
looking for a
Alder Motive will make a motion to approve claims in the amount of $181,470.80.
Art seconds.
Great, it has been moved and seconded that we approve the claims as noted. Is there any discussion? And we will do a roll call on this also.
Clark.
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Moda,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Albright,
Aye.
motion carries.
Great, thank you so much. Now we're moving on to number 11, report of city officers, and our city administrator, Kyle Ellefson, will start us off.
All right, thank you. Just a few quick items. Number one, leaf collection is continuing. I think we had planned to be wrapped up right around this time, but based on the weather and how quickly the leaves dropped, DPW is going to keep working on the leaves until they're gone, or until we end up getting snow or ice that ends up kind of ending the collection season. Also, in that same kind of thought about the impending colder, snowier weather, just a reminder again that the winter parking rules have been updated in the past year. And I'm just encouraging people to check them out before we get our first significant snowfall so they can plan in advance, know what to expect. We've gone to a snow emergency system versus the old system, which involved a measurement at a specific spot at the wastewater plant. So hopefully it's easier for people to know about it, but I do encourage you to visit the website. It's on one of the scrolling banners right at the top, so you can find the new regulations on the website. And if there's any questions, you can reach out to Public Works Director Jerry Lentz or contact me at City Hall. Oh, Trina, it looks like you have a question.
Oh, I do. I was wondering if I can inquire, when is the recycling center closing for the season?
Jerry, I still see you on here. Do you have that right off the top of your head?
I'm here, but can you guys hear me?
Yes.
That is November 27th. Saturday, the 27th will be the last day.
Thank you kindly.
You're welcome.
And that's all I had.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I'm just going to give a shout out to the Columbus High School football team. They did so well this year. They made it all the way to the semifinals. It was a great year for Columbus football, and congratulations. Everybody's very proud of you guys. Don't forget that the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and it's hard to believe, but Thanksgiving is next week. And the Saturday after it, November 27th, is Small Business Saturday. And you are encouraged to shop at your local hometown businesses. In Columbus, it is also the Stop, Shop, and Sip event. You can buy tickets. I was actually at one of the local businesses yesterday, and she was explaining to me that you can buy tickets for the wine part of the Stop, Shop, and Sip. And there's going to be a trolley apparently taking people from some of the businesses that are a little farther away from downtown, including, I think, Old Rock out in Astico, and bringing them, bringing you into town, taking you back. So you can purchase tickets, and then which entitles you to have a little glass of wine at the different places that are open and are participating. You don't have to purchase tickets though. Just walk around and shop. Some of the businesses that are participating will have little hors d'oeuvres and snacks for people. And it's kind of exciting to hear that there are some new businesses opening up downtown, not only the Tea Time wine bar, which I'm really looking forward to, but there's now a candy store that has just opened up on James Street, kind of across the street from Yummy Yum, and a jewelry store. And I'm sorry, I should have looked this up before not tonight. I'll have that information for the next time we meet, who is now taken the building space where Maloney Jewelry Store used to be. So I think this would be a great opportunity to go downtown and see what we have to offer in Columbus, and maybe try some of the restaurants down there if you haven't already. It should be a lot of fun. This year's holiday parade will be on December 4th, and I believe it starts at 6 o'clock. The holiday train, which will be virtual this year, has a date set now for December 18th. That's a Saturday. And we'll have a little more information on that as we get closer. They are going to provide donations to our local food pantry, as they've done in the past. And finally, Thanksgiving, as I said, is next week. I hope everybody enjoys a safe and tasty holiday. And that's it for me. So thank you so much. we are now going to adjourn. And the next meeting is it the regular cow, Ian, or are we going in? Yes, okay. So I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Gray will second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.
All right, thank you, everyone. And so I have 7:27. Let's try to be back by, say, 7:35. Does that work for everybody to start the cow?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. I'll see you all in just a little bit. Good evening, everyone. I have 7:35 and today is Tuesday, November 16th. I'd like you to welcome everybody to the Columbus Common Council Committee of the Whole. With that, could the clerk, Pat Gable, take a roll call?
Clark. Gray,
Present.
Moda,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Rolke,
Present.
Albright,
Here.
Arnold,
Here.
all present.
Perfect, thank you. And our meeting was properly noticed. So next up is to approve the agenda. I'll take a motion.
Alder Rolke moves to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
I have a second from Alder Rolke, a motion from Alder Rolke and a second from Mayor Arnold. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Next up is citizen comments. So like the mayor alluded to earlier, this is the meeting that we will be discussing the ATV and UTV trails. So if there is anyone in the audience that signed up or is present to speak, now is the time that we would like for you to speak. I don't have a list in front of me, so if you guys could just kind of orderly one at a time. Please, when you get to the podium, please state your name and your address.
My name is Randy Solver from Risto, Wisconsin. I'm with Quad-
I don't, is the microphone on? I'm not hearing you well.
Yeah, I suppose this mask is muffled. My name is Randy Solver from Risto. I'm with Quad County Runners, one of the officers. To present the roads, what we're looking for to get through the city of Columbus. We've come in from the east, from the town of Elba, Dodge County on River Road. Come up to Highway 1660 or James Street, all the way through, take a right on North Lewis.
Not hearing anything.
And then take North Lewis all the way out, and then that turns into old Highway 73. And then it'll take us into Fall River on Rutland Road. We do recommend that you do the whole city per se, for people that live in there to get to the main route. What we suggest to go through the town. And what this route would do is take us into Columbia County. And right now, Columbia County is working on, it went through the safety committee already. They're working on all county roads to open. Jefferson County below us is already all county roads open. And Dodge County has sections of them, and they're gonna consider next year to do the same. Because there's just too many signs just constantly going in asking for more roads and more roads. That's about all I have for you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Ian, did you want me to repeat the roads he said in case the alders didn't hear?
That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, so I believe it was come in from the east on River Road, come up to 1660 and turn left onto James Street, go through town to North Lewis Street, taking a right on North Lewis Street, all the way out of the city to Old Highway 73. That's correct.
Awesome. Thank you very much, both of you. Did everyone get that? So I got coming in on the east to River Road, then going to 1660 with a left on James, north onto, and then onto North Lewis Street and out on Old Highway 73.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Bill Velasquez. I'm the president of the Quad County Runners ATV Club. We started 6 years ago in February. We're up to about 200 members now, with including our business memberships. We're in 4 counties, and our average age of our club members are 52. So these are not necessarily kids. 90% of our club machines that we use are UTVs, not the ATVs. The ATVers usually like riding the dirt. There's about 2,000 miles of trails up north that they use. So most of these are UTVs. And they have to have a roll cage, and seat belts are mandatory on these machines. And then our club, we really want you to have in the ordinance a valid driver's license. The state doesn't require that, but we pretty much, not all towns went with that, but we really want to see you put that in the ordinance. Safety is very important to us. In 2019, statewide fatalities, according to the DOT, the state of Wisconsin, motorcyclists killed 82 on the state highways, pedestrians 53 on 2019, 14 bicyclists killed in 2019. ATVers, this is on legal road routes, only 4, and UTVs, people that were killed on driving a UTV on a legal road route is none in 2019 and also 2020. This year it was the same. About 2 months ago, there was one casualty. The fellow hit a deer, and that would happen if he's on a motorcycle or maybe even a car, who knows? So it's extremely safe. And like I said here, there's never been a fatality riding on a legal road route where the occupants are wearing their seatbelts. There's, as of February of this year, there's 430,000 registered machines in the state of Wisconsin. It's one of the fastest growing family activities in the state, according to the DNR. It's growing really fast. And back in beginning of this year, there was like 41,000 miles of roads. And these are called routes, not really a trail. A trail is riding dirt. No, I don't know. It's been growing so fast. I can't imagine how many miles now. We're probably there's 8 states that actually license a UTV that I know of, and they run any road other than the interstate. In 14 counties in the state of Wisconsin that I know allow Jefferson County, all county roads, possibly Columbia County here maybe coming up, Grant County, Crawford County. I think just about every county in the state has ATV routes, not necessarily all county roads, but just about. They required to have a license plate on the rear. Registration on each side of the machine is mandatory. So they can, if one needs to be pulled over, get the number off the machine. And also, we got, I don't know, maybe 30, possibly at least 30 townships, villages, and cities that we're in now. It's growing so fast, actually, it's coming to the point where actually the towns, the city's been coming to us just for the information and what they have to do to get it in their city or township. There's been quite a few of that lately. Wisconsin Dells is one, it's wide open. Wisconsin Dells is probably one of the busiest street traveled cities in the state of Wisconsin, with all the tourism up there. Is that wide open? Waterloo, Waupun, Juneau, Marshall in our area. And it's been, I think Waterloo now has been 4 years. As far as I know, it's been no trouble. That's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Did we have anyone else that wanted to speak as well?
No, there's no one else signed up.
Thank you to everyone who came forward to speak tonight. So next up on our agenda are the department reports. So in your packet, you'll find the DPW, Finance, Fire, Library, Lifestar, Police, and Recreation. Did anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns on any of those? Seeing none. So let's move on to, let's see here. Item number 6 is to review and discuss updated open shelter rental forms. I know Amy has been working on these very hard for a while and did a lot of work to get these updated for us. Amy Jo, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, this was actually one of the goals, one of the smaller goals that I had with working with Kyle. The old form in front of you is it's the original one that I've been working off of for the past 12 years. So I thought it was time for an update. I love the fact that they're fillable, a little bit user-friendly for our customers. Yeah, so just looking for approval. And Kyle and I did work with Attorney Johnson on the verbiage and getting things cleaned and up to date.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your work on that, Amy.
You're welcome.
Did anyone have any questions or comments for Amy while we've got her here? Seeing none, is everyone okay with moving this forward to the regular meeting for a vote and approval? Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy Jo. And then next up is to discuss the ATV and UTV trails. So today we did hear from a couple local club members and things on what they would like to see. With that, did you want to say anything to begin with, Shelley, or?
No, I just wanted to make sure that that everybody heard from Bill and Randy, because they're the experts as far as I'm concerned. I was just the resource for people to get people talking about this. And I personally think it's a worthwhile project, and that I would like to see it move forward. To potentially look at an ordinance and get it approved.
Thank you, Shelley. Did anyone else have any preliminary things they'd like to say? Go ahead, Sarah.
I want to make sure that we have some questions answered. One, did we find anything out if it increases the city's insurance liability or anything like that?
We didn't get a specific answer to that question. Oftentimes it's based on your claims experience. So, until we would have claims, it wouldn't necessarily impact our rate. We would still have the same statutory protections. For any injuries, deaths, it would be $50,000 as a maximum liability unless they showed some other special circumstance applied or went to federal court.
I have two other quick items. I would like the council to consider, if the ordinance goes through, that we make it clear that alcohol cannot be carried even by the passengers while using an ATV or UTV. And then at the last meeting, I know there was quite a bit of concern regarding noise. And so I just looked up a few facts and just thought I'd share them. The average decibel level for a normal conversation is 60 decibels. The average decibel level for an ATV is 96 decibels. The average decibel for a motorcycle, 89. The average decibel of a lawnmower, 90. A noisy restaurant, 90. A chainsaw, 106. So just something to think about. That's all.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Trina, I saw your hand go up.
Yes, I'm just still very concerned about all road access, and I had a small panic hearing the idea of, River Road where I live being one of the, a proposed idea for a main drive. Not so much for myself, but because I've seen some close calls with, I'm not sure it was an ATV or UTV, but had some very close calls a couple years back with fast going traffic and kids out cruising. So yeah, I'm just a little worried about how this could actually pan out.
Thank you, Trina. Go ahead, Michael.
I'd be interested in moving it forward with the limited scope of it being allowed for city departments such as DPW, fire department, and police, as was laid out in the original agenda item for discussion.
Thank you, Michael. Anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Go ahead, Trina.
Oh, no, I would just like to see some more official statistics. Right now, we're hearing from the president of organizations that obviously promotes these vehicles, and I'm sure they're fun. I'm sure they're really, really enjoyable. I just need a little bit more convincing that they would be safe.
Thank you. So I think really where we're at, to kind of frame things, is we do not have a fully fledged ordinance or routes. But at this point, in order for us to create said ordinance or said routes, or to figure out the cost of signage or any of the other things, we would have to start spending taxpayer dollars. So we are at the point where we have to decide, do we want to start giving staff objectives for them to figure out routes? Do we want to have Attorney Johnson start charging us billable hours to draft ordinances? What do we want to do? Do we want to spend taxpayer dollars on this and move this forward? Or do we want to let it sit till we get more information naturally from other sources? We could put it back onto clubs to try to, if they really want to come through Columbus, they could iron out more solid routes. I believe any route that comes through Columbus, we should also include the cost of contacting every person that lives on that route to make sure that they know that there's potentially going to be an ATV, UTV route coming through their home. Safety concerns are very much paramount with me. ATVs are not meant to be driven on roads. They are not safe to be driven on roads. The DNR strongly advises not to allow them on highly trafficked roads, even in the studies that were provided to us by some of the clubs and other places. If you read them closely, the DNR says this is not a good idea with ATVs specifically. So do we want to spend the money, our taxpayers' money, to flesh this out further? Do we want to put it back onto the clubs to bring us more information so that we could approve something? Because right now we have nothing to bring forward to actually approve.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Attorney Johnson, you said that you had ordinances already in place from other municipalities. So if I'm remembering that correctly, it really wouldn't be a lot of time that we would have to pay for to get a draft from you.
I think that's fair. I have drafted an ordinance for a municipality a few years ago that I would start from. The Partyville ordinance, which seems to be gathering favor with a lot of communities these days. Partyville is a municipality that I work with, so I've looked at that one before. That's probably your starting point for the city of Columbus, just because that's something that's apparently the Columbia County municipalities are all working off of that one. So I probably would start there. So yeah, you're not talking thousands of dollars, but probably hundreds of dollars to get something in front of you to at least start looking at.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I also want to reiterate that that's a start in one small portion of the cost that we're going to incur moving forward. So while that is not a major cost, that is only one of many costs. So what I want to know from council, my dilemma is the DNR and other officials across the nation say that ATVs operated on public highways that are highly trafficked are unsafe. The DNR, even in the materials that were provided to all of you, explicitly say that we have to take pause and think about this carefully because it is not safe and those vehicles were not meant to be operated on such roadways. So with that being said, it is obviously a very small portion of our city that owns and operates these vehicles. Do we want to spend all of our taxpayers' money in order to continue this discussion? And while in potentially increasing the chance of accidents or decreasing safety for all of our constituents for a very small percentage? That's my question. Go ahead, Shelley.
So I received a number of emails that are of residents that are in favor of it. I haven't received any emails from anybody that was upset about it or that didn't want us to do this or whatever. Has anybody else received emails from residents that, you know, they wouldn't be happy with opening up some routes?
I think the biggest problem there, Shelley, is that while I have received both sides, the biggest problem there is the people that know about this are the people that want this to happen. The average constituent does not watch our meetings and has no idea what we're doing right now or discussing right now. That's part of my reasoning of I would want anyone on any projected route to be notified via mail, and that is also a cost that would need to happen so that they would know ahead of time what we're discussing, because the people you're hearing from know about this. The people that will be affected by it do not necessarily know about this and are not going to contact you because they have no idea.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mayor Arnold.
Yeah, I did receive one email from someone who was concerned about it, had watched a previous council meeting and had many concerns and was, wondering what the upside is for, especially for people who are not interested in taking advantage of ATVs or UTVs. But I would agree with you. Ian, that most people are not aware that this is something that we're talking about. And I too feel it's important that we let people in the city know that we're considering this. And then I think we would start to probably have more contacts being made to alders and to me. So that's it.
Go ahead, Trina.
Oh, thank you. While I couldn't find any current statistics from the DNR, I did see that as of August, ATV, UTV deaths had gone up 30% within the past year, from that time, from August 21, from the previous August 20. And most likely that was with the increase of, roads and people that, towns that were allowing riding on roads.
Thank you, Trina. Go ahead, Attorney Johnson.
Thank you. I just wanted to put a couple additional comments out for your consideration. The issue with the DNR has been very interesting lately because the DNR is basically the state governmental agency that puts out all of the rules and regulations regarding the ATVs and the UTVs, and they are also going to all of the communities and speaking against this. And I haven't quite figured out why this is, but it is. And they always mention the liability to the municipality first. And the state statute specifically addresses that by allowing the municipalities that open up their roadways to ATV, UTV usage to come under the recreational immunity provisions of the statutes. So I'm not quite sure why the DNR is kind of arguing against its own program, but that's one comment I wanted to make. Another thing is there is a difference, and one of the gentlemen that spoke in chambers mentioned this. There is a difference between ATVs and UTVs, and the ATVs, I guess I'll use the comparison, are like jet skis as opposed to boats. ATVs are lighter, they're smaller, they're intended to be on dirt. The UTVs are bigger, clunkier, and are intended, well, more likely to be on roadways. They're a little bit safer. I think, I've never seen this, but I think it would be possible to have an ordinance where ATVs are prohibited and UTVs are not. I think they're separate. I know they're separated by definition in the statute, so that would be something that you might want to consider. Another issue is that if you are looking at a specific route that goes through the city, as the gentleman mentioned, River Road, James Street, Lewis Street, that's one thing to think about. Opening up your entire city streets and alleys is a completely different thing. So if you're going to think about moving this forward, those are two different approaches and two different things to look at. And then you need to remember that there is a prohibition on driving your ATV or your UTV out of your garage down the street onto the designated trail. Snowmobiles, you can do that. ATV, UTV, you cannot. So you would actually have to trailer it, even if it's a block down the road, you would have to haul it onto the trailer and then to get to the route. And then the last thing that I'll mention is that I've had a few municipalities that have created the ordinance with a sunset clause, just so they could see how it worked, and have it be in effect for 1 year or 2 years. And then when that period is up, reevaluate to see if it was good, bad, or in between, and then decide what they wanted to do then, just to kind of give it a shot and see what happens. So those are just additional things for your consideration.
Thank you, Attorney Johnson. And you more eloquently put to the point a lot of the things that I was alluding to earlier. I mean, there has to be a reason the DNR is advocating against things of this nature. One of the reasons is ATVs are not meant to be driven on roads. They are not safe to be driven on roads. Their brakes, their tires, nothing about them was intended to be driven on roads. It is simply unsafe by definition of their creation. And to mix those on high traffic roads like James Street and things of that nature, that greater increases liabilities, not just for the people on the ATVs, but for people operating normal everyday vehicles like cars, trucks, and things. There's a lot to consider here. And my concern is that we're pushing forward and discussing something that benefits a very small percentage of our population, but puts our entire population at risk. And our city, it would increase in liability and cost. That's my personal conundrum with this, is it's going to increase liability and cost for our city and everyone, but benefit a very, very small fraction of our population. So with that, I think we need to decide whether or not we want to start dedicating staff hours and time and expense to doing this. So who is in favor of moving this forward for it to be looked at further by staff?
I am, yep.
So Shelley, Alder Motive.
I am.
And Alder Rolke. So I have 3, 4. And who would rather this be tabled until the clubs or other entities can bring more information to us without us having to spend the money? Alder Reed, Alder Clark, and Mayor Arnold. So that is split. In this situation, I would have to side with, I need more information before I'm comfortable spending our taxpayers' dollars on this. So for now, this will be tabled until more is brought forward. Is there any further discussion? All right, thank you, everyone. With that, number 8 on our agenda is to convene to close session per 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require specifically to discuss potential use of city property at 1149 West James Street. Do I have a motion to convene to close session?
Alder Motive will make a motion to convene to close session.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to convene to close session per 19.851E. Could you take a roll call for us, please, Pat?
Right?
Aye.
Moda?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Rolke?
Aye.
Albright?
Aye.
Arnold?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries.
We are now in closed session. The remainder of tonight, we will not be coming back to the air to make any more statements. So thank you, everyone who's been here, and I'll see you all very shortly.